So we started with Antim Crud. Okay. Any quick questions in Antim Crud? Yeah, what did we discuss in the last class? We spoke of mind. And in the previous class, I had introduced you to Antim Crud. Okay. So, quick key points of Antim Crud mentals. Huh? Okay, very good. They are very romantic, very sentimental. See, if you look into an Antim Crud child, one word many authors use is they're very touchy. And touchy is a word many times we use for sinner. Okay, so they'll not like to be looked at, they'll not like to be touched, caressed and all those things. Okay, so when you see the adult Antim Crud, what we saw was they're very romantic, very emotional, and what else? Huh? Okay. Aversion to touch, aversion to be caressed. Okay. Yeah. Huh? Lazy, indolent. It's a psychotic remedy. So you see a lot of laziness. They're very indolent and who have a tendency to fall in love very easily. I was talking to you about something called as love sickness, where I told how desperate an Antim Crud patient will be to fall in love. Okay, fine. And for example, Antim Crud wife may not allow the husband to go out. She expects him to be with her all the time. Okay. See, why the wife wants husband around is also very important. Okay. In different constitutions, the reasons might be different. But in Antim Crud, they want to be loved. Fine? Okay. Like for example, Stramonian constitution. They also want their wife to be, they want their partner to be around. But there the reason could be clinging out of fear. So here it is more of being deprived of love. Okay, for example, 2 days if he is traveling, how can I be deprived of his love for 2 days? Is what an Antim Crud patient might feel. Okay, so love sick, we also spoke of they falling in love very easily and how they get disappointed and the result of the disappointment. Okay, like where we saw that they mainly go into grief, sadness. Huh? They can go into alcoholism, versus mix, and suicidal thoughts, suicidal tendency. See, this is where we had stopped. We will continue further. Now, in next 30-40 minutes, we'll try to mainly focus on the bodily symptoms of Antim Crud. Okay? What we call it as the particular symptoms of Antim Crud. See, there are a few areas where you see Antim Crud predominantly acting. So we'll take up those areas first, and if time permits, we'll try to look into the other areas. Where do you feel Antim Crud predominantly acts? So, two areas I have told you in the sphere of action. One is GIT, and GIT is the center. GIT is the prime area where you see antimonium crudum acting. Okay, so we will explore J. Now, before exploring J, gastrointestinal tract, where else you see Antim Crud acting? Now young practitioners. Now you see Antim Crud predominantly acting on the head. Okay, we have few head symptoms. We'll try to understand the head symptoms and then two characteristic symptoms of eye is what I will be trying to tell you. Similarly, two characteristic symptoms pertain to nose, and then we look at the prime area, J. Hopefully in today's class we'll try to do justice for these four areas. Okay, it depends upon the time. If time permits, we might take up skin, and then we'll try to look into the general modalities of Antim Crud. Okay, And we can also explore one more very important area, and that will be the clinical application of Antim Crud. Okay, where do we use? What are the conditions for which Antim Crud can be indicated? So we'll look at that particular area. Okay. So now we'll quickly look into the head part. Now before I start giving you the head symptoms, where do you feel or what do you think Antim Crud can do acting on the head? Okay, there's something called as gastric headaches. Good, agreed. Headache after river bathing. Okay. So see, predominantly what is my question is, what conditions do you expect in Antim Crud under head? So what comes up here is, it can be a very good remedy for headache. Okay. So one possibility in Antim Crud is there could be headache. Good. Anything else that you can see other than headache? So as you rightly told, you can have headaches in Antim Crud. Okay. Now we will try to understand headache under different headings. Okay. What are the common headings under which we understand headache? So tomorrow some patient comes to a clinic with headache. What is the commonest question we ask? Okay, you ask for location, good. Something before location? Okay, for example, if it is of a short duration, okay, definitely ailments will become very important. This is what we have discussed in our previous classes, aphorism number 5. Okay. Especially when you are looking at acutes, ailments will become very important. So what are all the causative factors which can cause headache in Antim Crud? So mainly you have river bathing, good. Anything else? Summer, getting overheated. River bathing. Then, okay, overeating. See, when you look at headaches, there can be different types of headaches. Antim Crud is mainly indicated for gastric headaches. A headache which has relationship with food. You overeat, you don't eat, you land up with headache. Okay. So ailments mainly coming from cold bathing, meaning headaches from cold bathing. So cold shower, cold bathing could be a possibility, or disordered stomach. Now, an extension of this particular symptom is overeating, indigestion, overeating, okay, where stomach is getting disordered and it is giving rise to headache. Exposure to sun. And the last thing here is, what you told first, river bathing. So these are all the ailments which can cause headache in Antim Crud. Any quick remedies that you can think of here, which can have similar ailments giving rise to headache? Naxvamika, where you want to put Naxvamika? Disordered stomach, good. Gastric headaches, overeating leading to headache, good. Glonine, natrum carb, good. Bryonia, simple remedy. Natrum mure, okay. Belladonna. These are few remedies in which there can be ailments from sun, good. And then you also have river bathing and chill thing. Now Vinod was talking of location. Where do you see pain in Antim Crud? In Antim Crud, the pain is mainly in the forehead. So heaviness in forehead, and this heaviness is associated with vertigo, nose block and nausea. Dr. Burik in his Materia Medica, he says heaviness in forehead with vertigo, nose block and nausea. Okay. So location, and then if you look at the modalities, we spoke of location, we spoke of the sensation. Sensation is mainly heaviness. And now we are looking at the modalities. Okay. And what is the simplest clue I have given you many times? Many ailments, good. Many ailments can be aggravating factors. Okay. So same thing holds good here. For example, sun, river bathing, wine. Okay? These are what can aggravate headache. Overeating. It is missed there, you can add. Overeating, wine, sun, river bathing. These are things that can aggravate night, evening. And what ameliorates is walking. Walking in open air ameliorates. So this remedy is also coming very close to pulsatilla. Now how is it different from pulsatilla? In pulsatilla is it walking? In pulsatilla it is more of strolling. Okay, Kent uses the word strolling. Like slow walk. It is not brisk walk. Slow walk in open air. Okay. So this will be the modality, and headache associated with hair loss. In Antim Crud, headache will be associated with hair loss. Okay. Any other remedies you can recall? Sepia, very good. Huh? Sorenum, okay, chalo. Then, so you have 6 remedies in your repertory. Okay. One is nitric acid, and the other one is sepia. You also have syphilinum, silesia, and tuja. These are the 6 remedies in which you have headache accompanied with hair loss. And in this remedy, you also have headache with loss of appetite. Okay? Headache with loss of appetite. So Antim Crud is a good remedy for headache, and mainly the type of headache you see in Antim Crud is gastric headaches. Okay? And then we saw the ailments, we saw the location, sensation, modality and concomitant. Okay? So moving ahead, I was trying to tell you, this already came. I was trying to tell you about the eye complaints of Antim Crud. Okay? Now something very characteristic in Antim Crud. It is not typically given for conjunctivitis, inflammation and all those things. It is mainly given for the canthai which gets cracked. Now, which is the other remedy that should come to your mind? Canthai. What is canthai? Junction. It's a junction. No? It is junction where skin and the mucous membranes meet. So whenever you have this kind of a junction, a better remedy we think of is nitric acid. Okay. So what I want you to highlight here is nitric acid is one remedy, a top remedy. But if you are looking at other remedies, you also have antimonium crudum, which has that affinity for mucocutaneous junction. I'll be sharing few more information a little later, but for time being, acting on the eye, what you see here is this part, the canthai, they get cracked. Okay? One. And second important thing is, it's also a very good remedy from the image, blepharitis, chronic blepharitis. Okay? Blepharitis, again, we have many remedies. We have, what are the other remedies for blepharitis? Many remedies, many carbons, especially petroleum, graphites. Okay. Now, Antim Crud is a remedy for chronic blepharitis. Okay. So, moving ahead, it also has an affinity for the nostrils. Now, what will happen to the nostrils? You see crust, you have eczema of nostrils. The nostrils, where you have crust formation, you have eczema of the nostrils. Okay? Very few remedies have eczema or crusting of the nostrils. Okay? And one of the few remedies what we have is antimonium crudum. Okay? So Antim Crud, nostrils cracked, eczema, scabs in the nostrils. Okay? Now graphitis, lycosulfur, natramure are 4 top remedies which will have the canthai getting cracked. graphites, LiCO, sulfur and netremir. Okay. See, we spoke of head. I feel head symptoms are clear. We spoke of eyes. Eyes, we focused on its affinity for the mucocutaneous junction. Okay, there are cracks, and then what you also see is that it affects the nose, causing. See, here we are not focusing on cold, coryza. I want you to understand this variation. We spoke of allium cepa, we spoke of euphrasia, we spoke of sulfur, arsenic, arsiode, arum trifolium, many other remedies. Okay, there our focus was on coryza, on mucous membrane. Action of those remedies on mucous membrane. Here you are seeing Antim crudum having a specific affinity for the nostrils, and it is not causing any discharges, it is causing eczema. Hope you are clear. Okay. Now the beautiful area is this. Why is this shaking? Okay. Now the beautiful area in Antim Crud. Tomorrow as practitioners, we mainly focus on this particular area. J. Or even for you in your exams, there can be a question on gastric affections of Antim Crud. Okay. No, that's secondary. We'll always focus on the long-term goals, practice. Okay. Now the idea here is, as I just mentioned, the main focus or the main sphere of action of Antim Crud is J. Okay. That is the center, that is the core. Then, see, many times they have told, I don't know if I have told you under mind, even when mind gets disturbed, the target organ is J. This is a clue for you. This is how you will be differentiating netremir from Antim Crud. Okay? In grief, or in any emotional affections, the first organ that gets affected will be J. J will get disturbed. So J disturbances from emotional issues, Antim Crud. Okay? So what I am trying to tell you is, that is the weightage this remedy carries when we discuss the gastric affections. Okay. Now, while guess, what could be the probable symptoms that you expect in GI of Antim Crud? Very good. Slow digestion, indigestion, good. Acidity, eructations, good, beautiful. But what made you think of all these things? Okay, good. See, now what you need to understand is, the system is slowed down. Remember this. The GI system in Antimonium crudum will be slowed down. Why is it slowed down? Because it is overworked. Okay? Done? Meaning patient eats so much that the J is getting affected and it is getting slowed down. So that's why when Dr. Padmashri, Dr. Krishnadas, they are talking of indigestion, slow digestion. You need to understand why the digestion becomes slow in Antim Crud. Okay? So as rightly told, only indigestion, slow digestion, eructations, only these things. Think now, when you overeat, what do you think will happen? Huh? Yeah, don't go down. Stomach, there can be vomiting. Okay? So I just got a few images for you here. Yeah, now before that, we forgot a very important heading. You told me what is the result. But for this result to happen, what will be the cause in Antim Crud? Okay? Ailments. Why GI complaints come up in Antim Crud? One we just concluded, it is because of overeating. Yeah. Overeating, or Rakesh is right, he says emotional disturbances. Good. Emotional disturbances, overeating, anything else? Very good. Sour wine. Okay, sour wine. Okay. So before that, if you could go back to the general ailments that I told, like for example, you have what? Pasties. You have bread pasties, and as you rightly saw, you have more of overeating pasties, and alcohol. You have alcohol in Antim Crud, and then you have sour things, lemon sour things. Okay. Cold bathing, getting overheated, must be I missed few more, getting overheated, emotional upset. Huh? Okay, these are all the probable things that can bring in gastric affections. See, naturally, all these things can affect the GI system, which is weak in Antim Crud, and it can give rise to a series of symptoms. Okay, we will go from, when I say GI, it starts from here and it ends here. So I don't know how much time we have, but we'll try to take up all these things. Now, starting from mouth, this is something you can answer. I've given you the ailments. You know what it can do. So what do you think will happen in the mouth? Very good. There can be ulceration. Tongue is coated white. See, many times they tell your GI how healthy it is reflected on your tongue. A clean tongue shows a clean and a very healthy gastric system. A coated tongue shows that your GI is not very healthy. So now you know from what you have already told that the gastric system is not a very strong thing in antimonium crude. It is very weak. So what you see is, you will see more of white coated tongue. And how is the coating in Antim Crud? Acid whitewashed. Very thick white coated. Okay? We'll take up some remedies and we'll try to compare. Now, I don't know, I'm jumping a little. Now what else other than white coated tongue? Rakesh was talking of ulcers. It could be possible. What else? Keep it simple. What else? You had an image which had come. I don't know if you did observe it. If you have not observed it, I am happy. So that you can at least start thinking. Bleeding gums. See, do you see hemorrhagic tendency in Antim Crud? No problem, no issues. So what also you need to understand is, you will not have much of bleeding in Antim Crud. Okay? But possibility is, there was a tongue, there can be bad breath when the digestion is weak, okay, and you overeat so much. So possibility of bad breath, think common, and then you can also have white coated tongue. Anything beyond that? See, you also have mucocutaneous junction. That's what I wanted. Okay, so that's the image which will come up next. So, though the tongue is white, not coated white, don't bother about that part. You can take this tongue, cut and paste. So what you need to understand here is, the corners are cracked. Where else you have seen cracks? Nostrils and canthai. Inner and outer canthai. Okay. So this is one thing, and one more very important thing you have in Antim Crud, surprisingly, is one of the top remedies for dental caries. Okay. So if you look at the repertory, dental caries, antimonium crude on 3 marks. Okay. Now, when do you indicate Antim Crud in dental caries? See, Antim Crud mainly when there is pain. When there is pain in the carie tooth, and from the carie tooth, pain will be radiating to the head. Personally, never used Antim Crud for Antim Crud for caries. But when I was preparing the class, I realized it's a beautiful remedy for dental caries. Okay? Any quick remedies for dental caries? Huh? Creosote, good. Marg, Toja, Arsenic, Staphylococcus aureus, good. Fluoric acid, beautiful. Fluoric acid. Mesothelium. Okay. Now when do you think of Staphylococcus aureus and creosote? I am giving you a combination. Staphylococcus aureus and creosote. Okay, there is early decaying of teeth. Especially in creosote, you have a symptom. Tooth decays as soon as it appears. So what you need to understand is premature decay. We have young girls, boys coming to our clinic, 4 years, 3 years, and all the teeth, they have gone into caries. Okay? It has turned black, bad breath from mouth. I have beautiful cases with creosote. I am not trying to tell you the black becomes white. No, don't expect all that. But the further decay, the halitosis, the abscess, what are all the abscess called? Gum boil, abscess, odontitis. So these are few areas where creosote can do wonders. Okay? Toja, caries of roots. If it is sides, then you can think of Staphylococcus aureus. Okay? Done? So what you need to understand here is dental caries and pain aggravation touching the tooth with the tongue. The carie tooth, when you ask the patient when is it more, the pain, and patient if at all they tell, sir, when I touch my tongue, okay, it aggravates. You can think of Antim Crud. Okay? And fluoric acid, I don't know if I mentioned fluoric acid. Yeah. See, okay, no, this is other remedies having cracks over the angle of the mouth. Other remedies. Condurango. What is special in Condurango? Only remedy mentioned in the repertory. Cracks, painful cracks. And many times in Condurango, you will also have cancer. Cancer of stomach, cancer of GA, esophagus, upper GA. And when you have these cracks, and if the cracks are painful, Condurango, a rare remedy, can be a beautiful remedy for this particular condition. Otherwise, you can think of arum triphenol. You can think of graphites, nitric acid and silicea. Now we are looking at remedies for carie tooth, creosote, Staphylococcus aureus, fluoric acid. In fluoric acid, there will be rapid caries. Toja and mesothelium. So dental conditions, where else do you think homeopathy can play a role? Okay, very good. See, what I was trying to tell you is, many times we have people coming to us for pain, management of pain. Okay, gum abscess. Okay, and many times, we also, I just wanted to share my personal experience, a small experience. I had issues with my wisdom tooth. Okay, so last week I got it extracted. And dentist is a very good friend of mine, a very reputed man. He had prescribed some antibiotics and had also prescribed few painkillers. Okay. So today was my follow-up. I went to my friend and he had sutured it. There was a small suture because for the alignment to happen, for the closure to happen, he had put a single knot suture. I had to get it removed. So I just spoke to him and I asked him, sir, how is the healing? And any other signs of infection, anything? No doctor, it is all fine, it is healed very well, absolutely no issues. Then I told him I have something to confess. What is the confession I had? Sir, I have not taken antibiotics. And he asked, how about painkillers? I told, no sir, I have not taken painkillers. Luckily that gentleman knows homeopathy. Okay, fine. And any wild guess what was the remedy taken? Huh? What was the remedy taken? See, I mean, just keep this in your mind. Arnica. Okay. I had taken 1 dose of arnica before tooth extraction. Remember, before tooth extraction, pain, bleeding was much better. And trust me, 1 more dose of arnica was taken. And if you know, I don't know how many of you have got your wisdom tooth extracted. I mean, it's a very painful thing. Luckily, 2 doses of arnica kept me out of infection, kept me out of pain, and kept me out of blood loss. Okay? Done? So, I mean, I just told him, instead of trying it on others, our literature gives arnica as a beautiful remedy. I was having a small talk with my dentist and I just told him, sir, I have taken arnica as a medicine, and and even he was happy that wound is beautifully healing and absolutely no signs of infection and touch wood, no pain. So arnica. This is something we can, I mean, you can use in future. At least because it is me, my body, I had the liberty of taking the risk of not taking antibiotics and painkiller. I thought I'll just experiment on myself with homeopathy, what we practice, what we preach. Arnica, beautiful. You can try with your patients, okay? And if you get a good dentist like I had, who knows homeopathy, things will become more easy. Dental caries, I have told you, we can help with pain. Better cold, better warmth, better taking in air, keeping cold things in mouth. You have a lot of remedies you can explore. Okay? So dental caries, fine? Dental caries, for example, it might, the right homeopathic medicine might prevent further decaying. Don't be too optimistic and expect whatever has decayed. I don't know, at least I don't have any experience. There might be homeopaths who have done wonders, with due respects. At least personally I have never cured dental caries. But we have had beautiful cases of bone caries, osteomyelitis, improving, MRI showing good results, discharges stopping. So when it can happen there, it can as well happen here. But no practical experience to share. Okay? So mesothelium, thuja, fluoric acid, Staphylococcus creosotum. Okay? Dental caries. Now we will focus on the stomach affections. Okay? Now what do you see under stomach affections? I just try to tell you that you have more of indigestion. And Krishnadas was talking of burping. Okay, we'll look at it. And then loathing of food, decreased appetite, vomiting, indigestion, gastritis, burping, eructation, and this is something you need to remember in antimonium crude. Okay? So these are all the possibilities you see under stomach in antimonium crude. Okay? Now, the first thing here is, I have repeatedly told, the GI system will be slowed down because of the abuse, because of the overeating. Okay? The digestion is getting slowed. Now what happens when the digestion gets slowed? I mean, food might remain long in stomach, there can be indigestion, food might get fermented and you can have burping coming up, or you can have distension, okay? Or the body might throw it out. The body's beautiful defense mechanism is it will throw it out. So there can be vomiting, okay? So indigestion and gastritis, eructations. See, every remedy which has eructation, they have something very peculiar. Okay? Can you think of some remedies having eructations? Arnica. Good. What is the character in arnica? Rotten eggs. So, the eructation in arnica, see how bad the system is. See how deranged the system is, that the eructations in arnica will be like rotten eggs. He has not eaten egg. Egg has not got rotten and then there is a smell. The food, what is eaten, will have that kind of a odor which is very individualistic and peculiar in arnica. Individualistic and peculiar in arnica. So that is arnica. Any other remedies? Graphitis. You also have asafoetida, you have argentum metricum. In argentum and asafoetida, how is it? Very loud burr. Okay. In arnica, the eructations will be like that of ingesta. Whatever he has eaten, okay, the burr, the eructations will have that kind of a smell. So eructations smelling like that of ingesta. Antimonium cruda. Now, very important for you, which can also come up on the stomach, will be desires and aversions. What are all the desires? Pickles, acrid things, acids, pickles. And what are all the desires? What are all the aversions? Desires will be acrid things, acid things and pickles. Aversion mainly for pork. Okay, pork. So desires, aversions and vomiting. What is the speciality of vomiting in Antim Crud? Huh? Very good. Milk is vomited in the form of curd. Good. Anything beyond that? Huh? Thick, yeah, all that is fine. Now, what will the child do after he vomits? Huh? What will the child do after he vomits? He will go to sleep and he will get irritated. Which is the other remedy that comes very close? We'll take under comparison. But remember, in antimonium crudum, child after drinking milk, it vomits milk in the form of curds. And after vomiting milk, the child will go back to sleep. Antim crud. Okay? Now, the last area, and then we'll try to take up the comparison. Under abdomen, what do you see under abdomen? There can be bloating because of indigestion. And other than bloating, which is the other area, which is the other organ that gets affected in Antim crud? Liver. The food, whatever you have eaten, should get metabolized in liver. So liver is also an organ that gets affected. Liver can also be overloaded. Okay, so liver also starts, the liver functioning also slowly starts getting, liver functions also gets slowed down in antimonium crudum. So you can expect inflammation, hepatitis, hepatomegaly, distension of abdomen under abdomen. And under rectum, what do we see under rectum? Constipation, very good. Hemorrhoids. Krishna Das had told something under characteristic symptoms. Mucus piles. His lips were ready to say mu. I just had a smile and he stopped. I remember him telling in characteristic symptoms. So you have mucus piles. There will be continuous oozing of mucus, hemorrhoids, okay? And what else? You told constipation. You are eating so much, so what will happen? Diarrhea. And Venkat has a point. Constipation and diarrhea alternates. Constipation and diarrhea alternating mainly in old people. I don't know, one author says only remedy, but it needs to be verified. So, stools which are slimy, watery, hard, lumpy, mixed with watery discharge. Diarrhea, mucus piles, continuous oozing of mucus, Diarrhea alternating with constipation in old people. So constipation, diarrhea, hemorrhoids, and the characteristic stool is what you need to remember. What you need to remember. Now our last segment, and I feel this will be a very important segment. As a budding practitioners, it's a very important segment. Now what is the segment that we are trying to focus here is comparison. When I said GA symptoms, I assume few remedies would have come into your mind. Okay. And many times you also get confused. So when Laxmamika, okay, or when some other remedy, and when antimonium crude. So what remedies you would like to take for comparison? Gastric complaints, good. Padmashree is quick, she says bryonia, good. I mean bryonia can be compared. Only bryonia? Pulsatilla, good. Pulsatilla. Now the first question is, what other remedies can be compared? You give me the remedies and we'll start comparing. Now how is it in bryonia?
Slow digestion.
Okay, like Antim crude, you have slow digestion. Like Antim crude, you also have ailments from sun, ailments from getting overheated. Now what is the difference between bryonia and Antim crude? If you are looking at the tongue, in Antim crude, entire tongue is whitewashed, as if whitewashed like coating. In bryonia, the edges are free. Okay, in bryonia, the edges are free, and tongue is very dry. A thirsty remedy. Tongue is very dry, thirsty remedy. Okay, and you'll have indigestion. Now, what is the cause for indigestion in bryonia? If you have read E.A. Farrington, Bryonia and E.A. Farrington, beautiful book. You don't have many volumes, single volume. You have to read, understand Clinical Materia Medica by E.A. Farrington. Great author, died young. Otherwise, we could have expected more contribution from his side. So what do you understand when you read bryonia from Dr. E.A. Farrington is that he says, what will bryonia do acting on the mucous membrane? Dryness. So see, he was an MBBS doctor. He was an allopath. What he says is, it acts on the gastric mucous membrane, gastric secretions, and it will cause dryness, meaning it will reduce gastric secretions. So when gastric secretions are reduced, what will happen? Gastric secretion. So the digestion is getting affected. So indigestion because of deficient secretion of gastric juices, bryonia. Okay? And now Amrish was talking about constipation. How is it in bryonia? How is it in bryonia? Stools very hard, large, hard stools. Okay? So these are a few points that will help you in differentiating antimonium crudum from bryonia. Okay? Now the second remedy you told was pulsatilla. How is it in pulsatilla? Okay, so what is that common they have is aversion pork or ailments coming after overeating, ailments coming after eating pickles, acids and oily stuff, spicy things. Okay, so tongue is not typically coated like Antim crude, but you have slow digestion. Now what is peculiar in pulsatilla? Changing, good. Vinod has got a point. Changing stools. Diarrhea. You saw the diarrhea here, the character of stool, lumpy, slimy, watery. In pulsatilla, the stools can change. Pulsatilla loves spicy, but unfortunately, he cannot tolerate spicy. Pulsatilla. Then, okay. Then Vinod was talking of Naxwamika. How is it in Naxwamika? What is common in Naxwamika? The ailments from overeating, ailments from mental tension. Okay, but in Naxwamika it is not disappointment in love. In Naxwamika it is stress. See, the emotional stress in Antim crude is more to do with romantic things. Disappointment in love. Naxwamika, the disappointment is more more at the level of ambition. I have a beautiful case, yesterday my wife was sharing this case. It is her case and we are waiting. I mean, it was prescribed yesterday, but I am just trying to tell you how you take Nakshamika. See, this gentleman, this boy, very intelligent. Whatever 1.5 hours he was talking with my wife when he was giving case, he was only talking about projects, he was only talking about marks. He wanted to get into some big institute, IIT, if I am right. Fine. And unfortunately, though his ranking was very good all over India, he did not get IIT where he wanted. Okay? Then, so the second list also came, IIT. He did not get the college in which he wanted. But father was willing to spend money, pay donation, whatever, fees, whatever. But he already has got a lot of scholarships, lot of things. Very intelligent guy, very focused. Then, okay, but he did not get in the college he wanted. From one place, he was taking his mother on scooter to her friend's place. They were just driving. Somewhere in between he felt, Mom, I am feeling a little uncomfortable. She said, why don't you stop? Are you okay? And he said, fine, I'm okay, we'll just anyway, half kilometer more, I'll just drive and we'll go. So while driving, he had a bad seizure. Okay? He had a bad seizure. He fell down and he did not realize what had happened, and then once he got up, when people were all around him, he started blasting them. He became very angry. Who are you? This, that, blah, 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 and all. He was rushed to the nearest nursing home, and there they did MRI, EEG and all. Luckily, all those things are fine. And he's on Levipil. And somebody said homeopathy. And then they come to my wife and she beautifully took the case. Now what comes up in this case? What comes up in this case? Now I'm just trying to tell you Nakshamika. Here we can't think of Antim Crud. Then, now what was it that was constantly running in his mind? Very good, ambitious. Now what is the rubric? How do you convert it? It happened on Saturday. Remember, this is also very important. And Monday morning he has met my wife. Because they did not want her to continue Levipil for a long period. They said, can homeopathy do something? Very intelligent guy. Hats off to his knowledge, his commitment. I am justifying Nakshamika. But what was the rubric? Simple rubric, and the rubric is ailments from ambition deceived. Ambition deceived. Simple rubric. Don't complicate things. You have 5 remedies. And you have another beautiful thing in Nakshamika, anger conversions after. What is it? Anger conversions after. So what happened after the convulsive attack? He was very angry. Mother was surprised. She has never seen him so angry. So anger conversions after. And I don't know, she's taken something else. But the remedy that comes up is Nakshamika. So what I was trying to tell you is, the stress in Nakshamika is more at a practical level. Nakshamika will not bother for a girl. Nakshamika will not fall for a girl emotionally. And Nakshamika will not creep. Oh, she left me. Nakshamika is not that kind of a guy. Nakshamika is not sentimental. Fine? Antimonium Crud is sentimental. So in Antim Crud, the ailments are emotional stress, but it's more at the love disappointment. In Nakshamika, ailments from emotions, it is mainly at failure. Failure of his ambition, failure of his job, failure of social position. You're getting the variation. Then, so Antim Crud is more emotional. Naks is more practical. Okay? And if you also remember the desires, the aversions, the desires might somewhere come close to Antim Crud. Alcohol, ailments can come close to Antim Crud. But Naks is a different constitution. Rectum, what do you have in Nakshamika? Ineffectual urging. And why do you have ineffectual urging in Nakshamika? Again, going back to your physiology. In Nakshamika, we will have irregular peristalsis. So they will have ineffectual urging. So materia, if you start reasoning, it's a beautiful subject. You will appreciate it better. Okay? So we'll come back and we'll continue with this. You said Nux, you said pulsatilla, you also told me about which was the other remedy you spoke? Bryonia. Any other remedies that comes close? Arsenic. Now what do you have in arsenic? Arsenic will have more of diarrhea, fine, and arsenic, what will be the cause? It will not be overeating. In arsenic, yes, Ambrish, in arsenic you see more of food poisoning. Complaints which come after ptomaine poisoning. Complaints which come after eating decayed food. So you'll have vomiting, you'll have diarrhea, offensiveness, weakness, prostration, restlessness, chilly, thirst for small things. This can be a picture of arsenic. Okay. Ipecac. Ipecac can be a remedy you can think of. Okay. Now how is it in Ipecac? Okay, Clinton, good. We had a case, if Vinod remembers, we had given Ipecac yesterday to a patient in OPD. And what was the case? The child had pain abdomen. And what was the story behind? How did it start? Father had purchased mobile to the son, this patient. And mother started yelling at father. You are spoiling him. Absolutely right. It makes sense. Dad will realize after a week what mistake he has made. Okay, but then he's given a mobile for a 14-year-old or 15-year-old boy and mother starts shouting at the father. And who is suffering? Who came to us with pain abdomen? The boy, the son. Now what is important for us? What happened? They were scolding, they were fighting. So what happened to you? And this child became very angry. Angry against whom? Father for buying the mobile? No. Against mother for yelling at father for buying him a mobile, he was very angry. And in that situation, you think you could have expressed anger? If you had expressed anger, mother would have given him 4. Fine? So he had a lot of anger against mother, but he had to keep it inside. And after some time he lands up with pain abdomen, he lands up with vomiting. So what did we take? Ailments from anger suppressed, vomiting, tongue and all, and we prescribed Ipecac. So Ipecac also will have more of nausea, but Antim Crud will have more of vomiting. Clean tongue, coated tongue. This is how you are going to differentiate. Okay. One last remedy I want you to remember here is we are talking of vomiting. Which is the remedy? Ituza. Vomiting of milk. When we know told thick curdled milk in children, in infants, one remedy that should strike to you is Ituza. So how do you differentiate Ituza? How do you differentiate Ituza from antimonium crudum? In vomiting, especially in infants. As soon as it goes into stomach, he vomits in form of curds. But what is the difference? Okay, no issues. Aversion to milk, agreed. So now the only difference you need to remember is after vomiting, Ituza will again drink milk. Okay, this is a cycle that continues in Ituza. This is where antimonium crudum is an intelligent child. He is not an intelligent child per se, but in this situation, he knows if he drinks milk, he is vomiting. So child acts intelligent and he goes back to sleep. Okay, done. But in Ituza, if you know that cycle, Ituza will again cry for milk and mother again feeds him. And in Ituza, this cycle continues, which is reverse of antimonium crudum. After the child vomits, the child falls asleep, Antim Crud. See, these are the fine differences you need to understand so that you can practice the right homeopathy and you can help the suffering humanity better. Okay? Any other remedies you would like to take in for comparison? Huh? Okay, lycopodium. How is it in lycopodium? So lyco again is a remedy in which there is slow digestion, indigestion, food goes into fermentation, and then there is gas formation. And lyco, you all know, the distension is more lower and they feel comfortable passing flatus. Little appetite, few mouthful fills, easy satiety in lycopodium. Here, want of appetite after an illness. I'll just put that sentence in a sentence form in the next class. Want of appetite after an illness. Meaning they have had good appetite, they have had some illness, and after that illness, the appetite has gone. Antim Crud can be one remedy. There are many more remedies. Which are the other remedies? Sorenum. Okay. You can also think of Antim Crud. So to sum up what we did, we spoke of particulars, head, eyes, ears, and the entire GI. In the next class, we'll take up skin, and we'll also look at the modalities and clinical application. And if time permits, we'll take up antimony and catharicum. Okay. Any quick questions? Any doubts? All clear? Children, thanks.